Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. So if you've ever moved or, bought a new home in California and you've got kids, you already know the ultimate stress test. It's figuring out exactly which public school your child is going to attend. Sounds pretty simple, right? Just look up the map. But as we're about to see, California's school boundaries are a lot more complex than just drawing permanent lines on a neighborhood block.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the very first thing almost everyone assumes when they start their local school search is that there has to be a centralized official database somewhere, right? It's the big foundational question. Is there a master map for California schools? Well, the answer is a definitive no. Seriously, no way. If you're looking to the state capitol for some neat, color-coded map of every single school boundary, you are going to be searching for a very, very long time. Because, as we'll explore, the California Department of Education absolutely does not centrally manage a statewide map.
But hey, don't panic. We're going to untangle this whole localized system step by step. Our agenda today? First, the statewide map myth. Then, how California districts work. Third, why boundary lines move. Fourth, district versus attendance boundaries. And finally, finding accurate boundary data.
All right, starting off with Section 1, the statewide map myth, and why the CDE doesn't have your map. You see, in a state with such a massive public education system, the state's role is actually focused on guidance, data, and oversight. They really aren't in the business of maintaining a giant map library for individual neighborhoods.
In fact, the state takes a totally explicit stance on this. The California Department of Education clearly states that it does not maintain a school boundary or district map library, and because of this reality, they actually direct people straight away from the state level and tell them to contact their local district offices for help. Now you might be wondering, wait a minute, I've seen state maps online. And yeah, it's true that California uses Geographic Information Systems, or GIS tools, but look closely at what those tools are actually for. They're used for spatial analysis. They're super helpful for planners and educators trying to understand broad patterns across the state. But what they are not is a single, official, public boundary map. These tools just don't definitively answer the question, which specific school does my kid go to?
Moving right along to Section 2, how California districts work and this layered system of local control. It's so vital to realize that California's district map isn't just a simple patchwork of side-by-side rectangles. Instead, districts are built and shaped by history, state law, and local governance.
And this brilliantly illustrates how it breaks down. You generally have three types of districts in California. You've got elementary districts serving kindergarten through 8th grade, high school districts handling grades 9 through 12, and unified school districts, which combine the whole shebang, serving K all the way through 12th grade.
So how do all these pieces actually fit together? Well, elementary boundaries are typically coextensive with high school or unified district boundaries. Basically, this means an elementary district usually fits right neatly inside the overarching borders of a higher grade district. It creates a layered system. But keep in mind, and this is important, exceptions absolutely exist thanks to specialized legislation or State Board of Education waivers.
Which brings us to Section 3, why boundary lines move, or what I like to call the tectonic plates of the school system. See, even if you managed to find a map that was perfectly accurate 3 years ago, it might be entirely outdated today, because these boundaries shift.
So what actually forces these tectonic plates to move? Well, real-world triggers happen all the time. A massive population boom can literally require brand new attendance areas. On the flip side, declining enrollment might force districts to redraw lines or consolidate schools. New housing developments, they create immense pressure for updated maps. And sometimes you'll see a total district reorganization or annexation that changes the shape of a district completely.
And the state openly acknowledges how tough this is. As their organization materials explain, quote, "These changes are part of the normal life cycle of school districts, even if they can be disruptive for families." And let's be real, it is disruptive. Local boards have to juggle funding, transportation, and school capacity, all while balancing strict legal requirements with community stress and parents worrying about school continuity. It's a lot.
That perfectly sets up Section 4, district versus attendance boundaries. Grasping this nuance is absolutely the most critical thing for parents to do before buying a home or signing a lease.
But first, we have to define local control. This is the authority of school district governing boards to make decisions about district organization and boundary issues. In California, local control is a defining feature of the system. The power to draw the actual lines rests entirely with the local board, subject to state law.
So the crucial point is this stark contrast right here. A district boundary is the overarching territory that a local board governs. An attendance boundary, on the other hand, is the highly specific, localized zone that assigns a child to a particular school building. Think about it. You could move directly across the street from your best friend, only to find your kid is suddenly zoned for a completely different high school. It happens all the time. Listen closely. You can buy a house deep inside a district boundary, but still be completely outside the attendance boundary for the specific school you wanted. Living in a district never guarantees a specific school assignment.
Okay, let's wrap this up with Section 5, Finding Accurate Boundary Data. This is your parent playbook. We want to give you actionable advice for navigating the 2026 California school landscape.
If you need the most accurate info, here's a checklist of verified sources. Start with the local school district office. They literally hold the keys to their own territory. You can also check the California School Directory, County Offices of Education, and the U.S. Census Bureau for GIS data. Now notice what is wonderfully absent from this list: third-party real estate listings. Please, whatever you do, do not bet your child's educational future on a map you just happen to find on a housing app.
So when you finally do get a map, walk through these 5 specific step-by-step questions to guarantee your child's placement. 1. Is the map from the district itself? 2. Was it updated recently? 3. This is key. Is it a district boundary or an attendance boundary? 4. Are there special transfer rules? And 5, are there any announced reorganizations coming down the pike?
The ultimate takeaway for California families making a move is simply this: treat maps as local, living documents rather than fixed statewide lines. Because there isn't some giant master map library at the state level, your safest approach, really your only approach, is to verify everything directly with the local district office.
So, I'll leave you with this. How does relying on a living document, rather than fixed lines, change how you'll approach your next big move? It completely shifts the power dynamic, doesn't it? It forces us to be proactive and ask the exact right questions before ever signing a lease. Thanks for exploring this with me today, and happy house hunting!